Picture this. October 1978. The New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers are battling in Game 6 of the World Series. 44 million Americans are glued to their television screens for free on network TV. That's roughly 1 in every 5 Americans watching the same baseball game simultaneously. Now, fast forward to October 2023. The Texas Rangers defeat the Arizona Diamondbacks in the World Series. The audience? A measly 8.1 million viewers, the lowest rated World Series in history. What happened to America's pastime? The answer isn't what you think. It's not that baseball got boring. It's that baseball got complicated. The golden age of free baseball. The birth of televised baseball. Our story begins on August 26, 1939, when NBC's experimental station, W2XBS, aired the first televised Major League Baseball game, the Cincinnati Reds at the Brooklyn Dodgers. Announcer Red Barber later recalled, "No monitor, only 2 cameras at Ebbets Field. I had to watch to see which one's red light was on, then guess its direction." But television remained a curiosity. In 1946, 140 million Americans owned 56 million radios compared to TV's measly 17,000 sets. Baseball's real television moment came in 1951 during the Giants-Dodgers playoff, the first national network sports telecast. The Game of the Week Revolution. In 1953, ABC executive Edgar Sherrick had a crazy idea. What if we put baseball on TV every Saturday? ABC was labeled a nothing network with fewer outlets than CBS or NBC. They needed anything for bills, as Sherrick put it. The result was revolutionary. The Saturday Game of the Week featuring the incomparable Dizzy Dean. Dean called batters who swang at pitches, said players stood confidentially at the plate, and famously sang the Wabash Cannonball during rain delays. By 1955, Dean's broadcast captured 80% of TV sets in use. Here's the kicker. These games were completely free, available to anyone with a television antenna. The network wars began. By 1960, something unprecedented was happening. All 3 major networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, were simultaneously broadcasting baseball. A combined 123 games aired nationally that year. Baseball was everywhere and it was all free. The 1970s became baseball's television golden age. The 1975 Red Sox-Reds World Series was watched by over 124 million Americans, more than half the country's population. Carlton Fisk's Game 6 home run wasn't just a baseball moment, it was a shared national experience. Then came 1978, the peak. The Yankees-Dodgers World Series averaged that staggering 44.3 million viewers, a 32.8 rating with a 56 share. Translation? Of all households with televisions, nearly 1/3 were watching baseball. The Superstation phenomenon, 1970s to 1990s. Ted Turner's masterstroke. In 1976, a mustached media maverick named Ted Turner had an idea that would change everything. Turner owned both the Atlanta Braves and a little Atlanta TV station called WTCG. On December 17, 1976, he beamed that signal via satellite to cable stations nationwide, creating the first Superstation. Suddenly, Braves games weren't just available in Atlanta, they were in living rooms across America. Turner cheekily promoted the Braves as America's team. The strategy worked. During the 1980s and 90s, Braves games on TBS regularly earned 2.0 ratings nationally, higher than most primetime shows today. Harry Caray and the Cubs phenomenon. Meanwhile, in Chicago, something magical was brewing. WGN-TV had been showing Cubs games since 1948, but when they became a superstation in 1978, Cubs announcer Harry Caray became a national icon. "You had probably the greatest baseball salesman in the history of the game with Harry Caray," recalls Bob Vorwald, who spent 22 seasons producing Cubs games for WGN. "We were creating baseball fans, not just Cubs fans, but baseball fans across the country." The Cubs had perfect daytime soap opera, beautiful Wrigley Field, charismatic Caray, and the eternal question, will these lovable losers ever win again? As Vorwald puts it, it was us against the soap operas, and we were a better soap opera than anything else out there. The accidental national pastime. Here's what's fascinating. The Superstations accidentally created the most democratic baseball viewing experience in history. A farm kid in Nebraska could watch the same Braves game as someone in Manhattan. Cable subscribers in rural Montana got the same Cubs action as folks in downtown Chicago. The Superstations reached 35 million homes by 1995. Players like Dale Murphy, Ryan Sandberg, and later Greg Maddux and Chipper Jones weren't just local stars, they were national celebrities. Even bench players became recognizable faces across the country. But this golden age had an expiration date. The cable revolution and the beginning of the end, the 1980s to 2000s. The money gets too big. By 1980, television revenue accounted for 30% of baseball's $500 million in total revenue. Local TV money alone hit $618 million by 1993, 15 times greater than the early 1970s. Player salaries rose accordingly, climbing tenfold to over $1.3 million on average. Baseball had become addicted to TV money, but there was a problem. Everyone wanted their piece. The Superstation backlash. In 1992, MLB Commissioner Fay Vincent tried to break up the Superstation party. He petitioned Congress to kill the legal loophole that allowed superstations to exist. More dramatically, he ordered the Cubs and the Cardinals to move to the National League West, forcing them to play more games in Pacific time zones and reducing their viewership. The Tribune Company, which owned both WGN and the Cubs, sued for breach of contract. Vincent's heavy-handed tactics backfired, and he was fired by team owners later that year. ESPN enters the game. On April 15, 1990, ESPN launched Sunday Night Baseball with John Miller and Joe Morgan. It averaged a 3.0 rating, double ESPN's overall average. By 1998, ESPN hit a 9.5 rating when Mark McGwire launched his 60-second home run. Cable wasn't just competing with broadcast TV, it was winning. The Great Fragmentation. Fox takes over. In 2000, Fox became baseball's primary broadcast partner, signing a deal that continues today. But something had changed. The old model of free, widely available baseball was dying. CBS had already tried and failed with an exclusive 4-year, $1.8 billion deal from 1990 to 1993. Author Kurt Smith called it sportscasting's Exxon Valdez. The network lost massive money showing games nobody watched. The regional sports network explosion. Here's where things get complicated. Instead of national broadcasts everyone could watch, baseball moved towards regional sports networks, specialized cable channels serving local markets. The Yankees created the YES Network. The Red Sox got NESN. Every major market developed its own exclusive baseball channel. Great for local revenue, but terrible for national exposure. The blackout rules that broke baseball. Remember those old MLB rules designed to protect local attendance? They became digital age nightmares. A fan in Tulsa, Oklahoma faces blackouts for Houston Astros, Kansas City Royals, and Texas Ranger games, requiring drives of 4 to 8 hours to see games live. Meanwhile, MLB.TV launched in 2002 as the solution, but with the same archaic blackout rules. Want to watch your local team? Tough luck, you need cable. The streaming wars and the modern mess, 2010s to present. The Cubs' bold experiment. In 2020, the Chicago Cubs made a decision that perfectly captures modern baseball's predicament. After 71 years on free television, they moved exclusively to their own network, the Marquee Sports Network. The business logic seemed sound. The Cubs would earn $90 million annually, up from $60 million through their previous deals. Marquee launched with Bill Murray hosting the first broadcast, followed by an Ernie Banks documentary. Then reality hit. The timing couldn't have been worse. The Marquee disaster. Marquee debuted during COVID-19 lockdowns. The Cubs traded away their World Series core, Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, and stumbled to consecutive losing seasons. Viewership cratered 56% from the launch in 2022. Here's the brutal math. Marquee averaged a 1.57 rating in 2022. That's lower than the Cubs rating during their worst pre-World Series season in 2014. They made more money while fewer people watched. The Great RSN Collapse. By 2023, the entire regional sports network model was collapsing. Diamond Sports Group, which operated Bally Sports Networks carrying 14 MLB teams, filed for bankruptcy. Teams like the San Diego Padres, Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Colorado Rockies suddenly had no television broadcaster. MLB was forced to create its own production company to keep games on air. The irony? The league that spent decades chasing cable riches was now desperately trying to get back on regular television. Apple and the streaming experiment. Enter the tech giants. In 2022, Apple TV launched Friday Night Baseball, exclusive games requiring a $9.99 monthly subscription. Peacock got Sunday morning games. The result? Baseball is now scattered across more platforms than ever. To watch your team, you might need cable for regional games, Apple TV Plus for Friday nights, Peacock for Sunday mornings, MLB TV for out-of-market games unless you're blacked out, Fox and ESPN for national games, and streaming services for playoff games. The numbers don't lie. The 2023 World Series, Rangers vs. Diamondbacks, averaged just 4.7 rating with 8.1 million viewers, the lowest in history. Individual games drew as few as 8.1 million viewers. Compare that to 1978's 44.3 million viewers. Adjusted for population growth, today's World Series should draw 60 million viewers. Instead, it's drawing 1/7 of that. The paradox of plenty. More baseball, fewer fans. Here's the paradox. There's more baseball available to watch than ever before. MLB TV streams over 2,400 games annually. You can watch games on your phone, tablet, smart TV, or computer. The production quality is stunning. Multiple camera angles, advanced statistics, instant replays, yet fewer people are watching. The generation gap. The streaming revolution has created a generation gap. Older fans who remember free baseball on broadcast TV are increasingly alienated by subscription requirements and blackout rules. Younger fans, comfortable with digital platforms, often can't afford multiple streaming services. Research shows baseball fan base is aging faster than any other major sport. The average MLB fan is now over 50 years old. International growth versus domestic decline. Ironically, while baseball struggles domestically, it's exploding internationally. Games featuring Shohei Ohtani in Japan draw massive audiences. The 2023 World Baseball Classic set viewership records across Asia. NHK in Japan averaged 2.2 million viewers for MLB games in 2024, nearly matching ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball in a country with 1/3 the population. The future, digital salvation or final decline. The streaming surge. Despite the fragmentation chaos, there are signs of hope. MLB TV streaming viewership jumped 27% in 2025, the highest in the service's history. Traditional TV ratings for Fox, ESPN, and TBS all increased double digits. Young demographics are particularly strong. ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball saw a 12% increase in 18 to 34 viewers, and MLB Network jumped 36% in the same demographic. The direct-to-consumer revolution. Teams are bypassing traditional broadcasters entirely. The Cubs launched a direct-to-consumer marquee app for $19.99 monthly. The Yankees' Yes Network offers streaming packages. The Red Sox NESN provides digital subscriptions. It's expensive. Watching your local team might cost $240 annually, but it eliminates blackouts and cable requirements. The rule changes that matter. MLB has implemented changes that actually work. The pitch clock reduced average game time to 2 hours and 36 minutes, the shortest in 40 years. Stolen bases increased to levels not seen since 1915. The game is faster and more exciting. These changes helped drive the 2024 attendance increase, MLB's highest in 7 years at over 70 million fans. The choice ahead. Baseball faces a choice that will determine its future. It can continue the fragmented approach, maximizing short-term revenue while alienating fans, or it can return to its roots as a shared national experience. The streaming era offers unprecedented opportunity. Imagine if MLB created a single, affordable platform carrying all games nationwide. No blackouts, no regional restrictions, just make it $10 a month, include every team, every game, and every market. Sound impossible? Netflix has 260 million global subscribers paying $15 a month. Disney Plus has 150 million. If Marvel movies can unite global audiences, why can't baseball? The human cost. The real tragedy isn't corporate profits or TV ratings. It's the 7-year-old kid in Iowa who can't watch her local AAA team's parent club because of blackout rules. It's the grandfather in Nebraska who watched the Cubs on WGN for 40 years but can't afford another streaming service. Baseball was once the common language of American childhood. Kids learned math through box scores, geography through team locations, and patience through 162 game seasons. That shared cultural experience is vanishing. The hopeful signs. Yet baseball endures. Little league participation is at all-time highs. The World Baseball Classic proves the sport's global appeal. Young stars like Ronald Acuna Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Fernando Tatis Jr. are genuine celebrities. The sport that survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, labor strikes, and steroid scandals will survive the streaming wars. The question isn't whether baseball will exist in 2050, it's whether it will be America's pastime or just another niche entertainment product. The final pitch. In 1978, when 44 million Americans watched Game 6 of the World Series, baseball was more than entertainment. It was a shared national ritual. Families gathered around television sets. Strangers debated plays at work the next day. Baseball was the backdrop of American life. Today, that same game would be split across 5 different platforms, requiring 3 subscription services and be blacked out in half the country. Is that progress? You decide. The future of America's pastime isn't being determined in ballparks or front offices. It's being decided in living rooms, on smartphones, and in boardrooms of streaming services. Will baseball choose accessibility over exclusivity? Community over revenue? The clock is ticking, and unlike the new pitch clock, there's no time limit on how long we'll wait for an answer.